My name is Linda Dolkey and I am a demonstrator with Stampin' Up in Australia. So right off the bat, as people are joining, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel here, please do that, because then you'll see when I go live and you won't miss any videos that I'm putting out. And at the moment, I'm doing at least one live a week on YouTube. That's shortly going to go up to 2. And I'm also going to be doing more technique videos here on this channel this week. I put one up on the day before yesterday, the 3D masking technique. Some of you may have seen that one, but if you don't want to miss them, yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Okay, so I'll put all the details for other areas that you can find me, like Facebook and things like that. I'll put them in the description at the end of the video. So how is everyone tonight? Got some people popping on. Hey Jody, hi Margaret, hey Elizabeth. All right, let me just quickly make sure I can see this okay on my computer and turn off that sound so that it doesn't distract us. Oh, how's everyone's New Year's? Did everyone enjoy themselves? Whether or not you were out celebrating or if you were like me and having a quiet night at home, which is absolutely fine, I hope you enjoyed whatever it was you were doing. I did a bit of creating, and I also I watched a bit of TV. I talked to my husband on the phone. He was at work. So a Joyful card. Ooh, that must be a while ago, Judy, was it? Or was that one of the I know when that might be. I'm just thinking how long it is since I did a Joyful card. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Hi, Anita. So, yeah. All right, so let's get going. I'm finishing up with the Something Old, Something New series tonight, because this is the very last live that I'll be going live with this catalogue. So this is my Something Old. Anything that is in here right now, if it's not going to be continued on, I'm calling that Something Old, even though it's still current. And really, it's not that old either, isn't it? So the catalogue's only been live since August. But it is coming to the end of its run, and we have quite a big number of things that are retiring and a lot of things that have been discounted. So we're going to have a little play with a couple of those things tonight. Also, the Ever Eden or Eden's Garden Suite, that's finishing tomorrow as well. The stamps and dies will still be available in the new catalogue, but the papers and the gems won't be. So if you want those, you'll need to grab them tomorrow. All right, let's get going. I'll get this turned around and let's see how we go. Ooh. All right, it's a bit humid here today. I don't know about anybody else. It's not actually hot temperature wise, but I've been sweating because it's so humid. I don't know whether it's just unlucky to be in a humid area. All right, so this is the catalogue that I marked with all my I highlighted everything that was retiring, and I'm just, is there anything that anybody, some things have already sold out. One of my old YouTube videos, Judy, was it? Oh, yay. Sunny, you're here. Hey, Deb, nice to see you. Happy New Year to you all. All right. Anything that has the mark, the highlighter, is going. So tomorrow's its last day, unless it's already sold out. And if anyone wants to know, I've got my trusty computer right here next to me. And if anyone wants to know if something's gone, I can tell you if you wanted to ask. It's 32 degrees. That's warmer than it is here. It's actually not. It's actually quite pleasant here, but just for whatever reason, the humidity seems to be really high. So there we go. I don't even remember which one that is, Judy. That's how long ago it is. So, but Joyful cards I really like them. They're a little bit different, but they're simple, and I'm all for a simple card. So anything where I've written down how much the percentage is off. You know, some things like that one's 25% off there. This one's 10%. These are 25, 50% off for the foils, you know, different things like that. Okay, so you definitely want to check those out because tomorrow's the last day. Okay. I have actually sort of pre-cut a couple of things. I did want to show off the Ever Eden paper again tonight because it's finishing up as well. It's not in a catalogue. It was an out of catalogue release. And for those of you that haven't seen the paper, if you like green, you're going to love this. It's just beautiful. So it's a specialty paper. It's got like a foil design on one side. You can see the gold foil here, and then plain on the other side. But it's really nice on both sides. There's 2 sheets of each. This one here with the little gold ferns, and then it's got like a speckle on the back. Then we've got white with little gold leaves and green leaves. That's really pretty. That's just one of my favorites, this one. And then on the back is like a herringbone pattern. And I think this might even be a full pack of paper, to be honest. This one I'm going to use tonight. I really, really like this. It's got like little gold dots in the background, which are hard to see. You might be able to see them, but probably not on the camera there. And on the back, it's got like an ombre. See, like an ombre look. See, isn't that nice? Hey Kay, nice to see you there. And so some of these lend themselves, like this one, I wouldn't have any problems at all using that on a masculine card. I think that would work quite well for guys as well as girls. And then we've got the green, the darker green. This is a really nice one, this one here. So I think I've used that one quite a lot. And I'm not going to use it tonight because I feel like I've used it pretty much to death. So yeah, that is a full pack, I believe so. And then I've got another pack that's all cut up in little tiny weeny pieces, and that's the one I'm gonna repurpose tonight. If anyone, like I said, if anyone has any questions about anything going out of that catalogue, go and have a final look. There you go, this is the piece. I've already pre-cut a couple of pieces. This is soft succulent. So the two greens in this paper are soft succulent and evening evergreen. I think I've got some of that here too. Yes, I do. This one, that's evening evergreen. So this is also available in the cotton paper that's going to also retire tomorrow, but the cotton paper is like a thick tissue paper, and it's in those same two greens. So this is the soft succulent. It's kind of shiny on one side and more dull on the other, but as you can see, it's the same color as this. They've matched that color really, really well. And then there's also, it also comes in this darker green, the evening evergreen. And then the other thing that is also going, the other thing that's going is the gems, okay, the garden gems, and these are lovely. I'm a bit sad those are going. I think they are really, really pretty, and I do love good embellishments. They always make me happy. So let's just move these out of the way. I've cut a piece of soft succulent, which is card front size, and this piece of white just fits right inside that. And then this piece of the Ever Eden paper fits just inside that. So you won't find this stuff in a catalogue, but if you were looking for it, you can find it on the online store. You just do a search on the word Eden and they'll all come up, because except the garden gems. The garden gems don't have the word Eden in their name, so they're just garden gems. But I believe that the word Eden is in all the other pieces. So let's put these together. This is a pretty simple card. Let's go simple. Nothing wrong with simple, by the way. Simple is quick and easy, and you know, you get that quick satisfaction of making a beautiful card without fussing around too much. So I'm all for simple. It's nice to go with something a little bit more jazzed up every now and then, but I think it's nice to give yourself a break and go simple sometimes. Right, you can see I didn't make the piece all the way across. I'm going to put this piece here. I did think about adding a die to that side, but I didn't get organized enough to do that, so I'm not going to worry about that tonight. Now, earlier today, I've been cleaning and decluttering my craft room, because that is a job that you do at this time of year when things are a little bit quieter. And I have, when I was cleaning out old packs, like from classes and stuff, I've got all these pieces that work really rather well, so I can put them over here. Or I've got a circle. I've even got a stitch circle. Those aren't even current anymore. Those are gone. That's a stitch circle too. And I've got some different pieces. So we can really kind of play around here. I've got this shape here. This is one of the Tasteful Labels dies. That would look rather nice on there. Or I can go with a scallop look. I think this one is too big. Yeah, it's covering up too much of our beautiful paper. Then I've also got a white circle. So does anyone have any preference for what would look good? And I've also got smaller shapes and different things. So these are all left over. This is one of the Stitch So Sweetly dies. That's nice as well. But we have some choices. I'm leaning towards a circle. Hey there, Jenny. How are you? Nice to see you there. And I'm just deciding. So here is the Eden's Garden stamp set. And I think we should send some hugs. What do you think? Because hugs in my life have been sadly lacking of late. I don't know about you, but we just don't seem to be having as many hugs as we need. Don't you think? Here we go. This one I'll do. All right. Now, the question is, what size picture? What size... I mean, I could put it on the small one like this and then put it on a larger circle. That would look nice. Or I can put it in the middle of a bigger circle and then we could stamp some leaves around it. Oh, that's not good, Jenny. Not good at all. You like the Stitch So Sweetly die, Anita? Well, then that's the one we're going to do. Thanks for telling me. This one is nice. So that one's the one you're thinking of. And that would look nice with sending hugs in the middle of it, I think. So let's use, I think, the darker green, the Evening Evergreen for this. It is very easy paper to coordinate because you only need a couple of colours, right? The two greens, the Soft Succulent and the Evening Evergreen, will probably cover all your needs with this paper. And so that makes it a good one. All right, so I'm just going to pop this in the middle. There we go, sending hugs. And I'm wondering whether I'm going to use a little bit of leaves, and I'm going to put a couple of these around, but I might use the lighter color for this. You like sending hugs? Yeah. Well, everyone seems to like the Stitch So Sweetly die, so that's good. That's the one we chose. All right, I'm doing this one a little bit lighter. And it's a really, I don't know if you can see it very well. Can you see this? I hope I'm holding it in the right place. It has like a distinctive look to it. So it's kind of dark and light from the same stamp. And we like that. Anyone been watching any TV lately? I found something interesting I've never come across before. It's on Disney, for anyone who has Disney, and it's called Only Murders in the Building. Has anyone watched that? I was kind of intrigued. It looked interesting, and it's a little bit quirky, a little bit offbeat, but I'm really enjoying it. Oh, he's in the hospital. That's not good. I think I didn't read that properly before. All right, let's put this here. Now we're losing, one of the reasons I want to put some ink over here is we're losing the edge of this, where the white and the white combine and you can't see it very well. We could also sponge around this one, and I'm wondering maybe if we should. And let me grab a, have I got any daubers that are in that color? I have a sponge, which we don't even sell those anymore, but I've got a sponge still sitting here, so maybe that's what I'll do. And I'm going to go with the lighter color, the Soft Succulent. And I'm just going to give this a little bit of... When they have stitched edges, I don't sponge as often as I would if they were a straight edge, because I don't want to detract from the stitching, because I always think the stitching looks so nice. But I don't want, because it's white and we've got white in our background, I don't want the two to get... I don't want it to lose that beautiful edge, so I am going to sponge it this time. So who else is excited about their catalogue? Did anyone, can any of my girls who are watching tonight, like some of my regular customers, can anyone tell me if they've received their catalogue? I've had a couple of people tell me they did, but not very many, and I'm just sort of hoping they've all arrived. So if you are a customer of mine, you've ordered from me within the last 12 months, you should have got a catalogue from me in the mail. Did anyone get one? Oh, actually, before I put this on, I've got a couple of ribbons here. These are really nice. These are the open weave ribbons, and these come in all the in colors, which includes the soft succulent and the evening evergreen. So I'm thinking probably the evening evergreen is going to be better. It'll stand out a bit more. And I'm just going to loop it behind here. I like a good looped ribbon. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to add a few more dimensionals to hold it in place. So we can always move it later if we're not happy with where the dimensionals are. Yours has arrived, Judy? Good. That's excellent. And you've got yours too, Sunny. Excellent. That makes me very happy. It's a nice catalogue. I can't even tell you the last time there was a catalogue that I didn't like. I always find something to love in there. There's always, and to be honest, sometimes if there's not as much in a catalogue, it's almost a relief. Anyone else know what I'm talking about? Because that means I don't have to spend as much money if it doesn't have as many nice things in it. But sadly, quite often I end up spending way too much money. But you know what? It makes me happy, so I'm okay with that. All right, let's see. All right, so I've got a bunch of dimensionals here. They're doing the job of holding the ribbon where I want it, but also doing the job of giving my piece a little bit of dimension. So I find this quite a good little trick for when I want to loop ribbon. And then we've got our looped ribbon behind, and it's also got a bit of dimension. Nice and simple. Oh, good. Sol, you've got Sol there tonight. Do you like to be called Sol, or should I say Sol Vega? Because that's how I've been thinking of you in my head. But I will understand if you prefer not to be called Sol, but it does say that tonight. Let's have a little look. Okay, so these gems are beautiful. So there's two. These ones are called cherry cobbler gems. I can kind of see why they say that, because they're kind of red in the middle, but they're also lots of other colors. They're greens and blues and purples and lots and lots of colors. And these are the same. They're soft succulent ones, but there's purple and there's blue, and they're almost iridescent. Really, really beautiful. Oh no, Margaret, that's no good. Who wants to wait? Well, you will be able to look online from Tuesday. I'm going to use a couple of these little gems. I'm putting this one here because there was a little tiny bit of a smudge there. And I'm going to add another one here. Just like that. Oh, that one's hiding behind the back of a dimensional, and I'm going to call that done. That's kind of cute. So we've got like these little ones that are almost like petals. You can in fact make little flowers out of them, and then you've got your little round dots, which are probably more general kind of dots that will work and everything. This just needs a card base. Do I have one handy or do I not? If I don't, then I'm going to grab one. Okay, just going to grab one and put it on while I'm here. Otherwise I forget. And what I like to do is, after I finish these YouTube videos, I like to take photos and post pictures of at least one of them straight away. And then sometimes I used to do both of them together, but lately, because I'm trying to be, well, I'm trying to be more efficient, okay? And so I post one like after the video, post tonight, and then I save the other one to post tomorrow. So I've got another post for tomorrow. So that's me trying to be efficient. What do you think? Do you think that works? I mean, I could just come up with another project tomorrow, but it just saves me that little bit of extra time, especially if I have some other things I'm meant to be working on, which right now I do have a bunch of things I'm meant to be working on. So really shouldn't be spending too much time. I misplaced my bone folder. Here's one. That's okay. Not far away. Right, so let's add this. So this size is just a piece of A4 cardstock or letter if you're in the US. Cardstock cut in half and then folded in half again to make the card base. That is the basic size. Okay, and then all the others sort of hang off that size. I'm just going to use some. So this is a super, super easy peasy card. Nothing too fancy for this one. And then we're going to go and use something brand new for the next card. Has anyone got any favorites from the new catalogue already? Anyone want to tell me what they would like to see demonstrated or used? I'd love to hear. Yeah, it is Solvega. Okay. All right, so that's one card, nice and simple. And we'll just pop that to one side. Huh, that's interesting. All right, so this is the next one, this catalogue here. This one starts on January 4, so that's the day after tomorrow. And it's full of beautiful, beautiful things. I can't show you the catalogue, but I have a lot of things already out of this catalogue, and I am allowed to show you physical products. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Too many favourites. I know, right? Oh, it's Norwegian. And then did you go and marry an Australian man and ended up with a boring old surname? I have a boring old surname. My maiden name is Wall, W-A-L-L, and I come from a long line of Walls. But then you love the tulips. I don't have those yet, Anita. Yeah, daffodils don't have those either. I think I may have gone a little bit off beat with my choices this time. I've started to put together things like, for example, I've been playing around with this set here. This is a celebration set. And also this one, which is, I didn't pay any attention to this at first, but this is part of a bundle that has some really fantastic hexagon shapes in it and really, really nice to work with and beautiful, beautiful DSP. So that's really nice. And you may have seen I've been doing a fair bit with this one. This is called Amazing Silhouettes, and it has matching dies that are like, do I have the otters? Yes. I think nearly everybody has the otters, Jenny. I did a card the other night with the otters, which you may have seen. Let me grab it for you. Well, I would grab it if I knew where it was. This is what happens when you declutter your space. You can't find lots of things because everything's all over the place. But I'm getting through it. I'm so excited. I'm actually making really good progress. So I think I may have told some of you before. You like the otters? You're waiting for those? Yeah, they're pretty cool. And they go really well with the marble paper. And I have both of those things. So we could play with that. That would be quite a simple thing that we could play with tonight. These dies here with this tree. The tree is my favorite stamp in this set, and you can see I made a card for my husband for his birthday, and I stamped 3 of the trees, 1 in green and 2 in soft suede, and these are the matching dies. Aren't they nice? And just tie a little bit of twine around a bit of ribbon down the side there, and that's his birthday card. And then this one, I use the trees again. And when you bunch them up together, they look really, really nice. See how they look like a forest? Really, really pretty. So these are also the matching dies. And this is some retiring paper. This was the card. I made this card the other day, like a something old, something new card. So you haven't got that one? It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. And good for masculine cards. I mean, that's a good masculine card, don't you think? I like cards that or stamp sets that are easy to work with when it comes to making male cards, because a lot of sets are really hard. Okay, move these out of the way. See, now there's another, I just had in my hand another card that I made the other night using that one of the dies from the Ever Eden paper. Similar kind, in fact, it's very similar, if you have a look, almost the same sketch, the same layout, except This time I used this piece to the right. On this one I used it to the left. This one I included one of the die cuts, and I also used the new bow punch to put some leaves behind here. And I used a bit of the cotton paper. Some of you might remember making this one with me the other week. So yeah, there's lots and lots of things, but there are so many beautiful things that I've been playing around with. On Friday night's video, we played with the masks. How much fun are those? They're a heap of fun. I even did another card with those today. I'm going to be doing them a lot. This is with the masks. So there's no stamping on this card whatsoever, none. And it's just mask, a layering mask over the top, and then I put some of the flower masks around the edges. And fittingly, it's called the Butterflies and Flowers Layering Masks. So actually, I think it's designer masks or designer layering masks, one or the other. But yeah, bit of fun. And I've used one of those amazing dies from that same set that I was just talking about a moment ago. So for all that, I've kind of thrown around a few ideas, but I think what I'd like to do is play with a set that you may have seen doing the rounds. It's called Blessings of Home. Just got to find it here in my box. I've gone quite stamp heavy this time, which is a bit unusual for me. It's this one here. I tend to focus more on other things like papers and dies and things like that, but this time I've actually bought more stamp sets than I normally do, which is kind of interesting. So so you will probably see me using like more coloring and that kind of stuff. So I'm actually well, this is a card base. Let's go ahead and fold that. And move a few of these things out of the way. Oh, there's another one. Look, that's from the Friendly Hello set, and the paper is the matching set. This is a celebration set, and that's also the same set. And I did a reel on Instagram with these the other day and showed people how to watercolor. Those ones are watercolored, and this one I just used the sentiment. So I've got so many. I've been busy making lots and lots of new stuff, just having fun with things and playing. And that's actually the part of my job I probably enjoy the most, is just playing with stuff. It's a lot of fun to just play. All right, I have here, how big is this piece? Right, this one's a little bit narrow. So, oh, it's only 9, okay, 9 wide, which means I'm going to chop it back here to make it fit. Yeah, that's going to be right. And I'm deciding, if we're going to stamp this beautiful big stamp, what colors should we use? That is the question. I could do this on watercolor paper if I'm going to watercolor. I'm deciding whether I'm going to watercolor or blend. I think watercolor. I like the softness of this, lends itself really well to watercolors. So let's pop it here on the block. This is block E that I'm using. An anniversary card. Well, this one doesn't have any anniversary sentiments, but you could certainly use the sentiments from a different set and pair them up with this beautiful flower. So the question is, how are we going to go? Are we going to watercolor our flowers, or are we going to use blends? Watercoloring is actually quicker and faster, so I'm leaning towards doing watercolor. Just got a little dimensional back on there. Those things get everywhere. All right, if we are going to watercolor, that means I need to use my StazOn ink, and I'm deciding whether to use brown StazOn or black. I think black, even though it's harsher than I would normally like. So actually, I'm looking at that and wondering if it's inked up enough. I've got 2 StazOn, so let's see if the other one is better. Just going to go over the whole thing. Still don't think it's inked up enough. So that's okay. We have our ink refill, so let's move that aside. when I'm inking up, refilling, I just, I get it to come out and I go over the whole stamp one direction like that, and then I turn it around, and without squeezing any more out, I then come back the other way, a different, like, so that I'm not going to end up with lines transferring to my stamps. So you want it to be as even as possible. So I'm just using the nozzle to spread the ink into the pad. I'm not actually adding any more. The first pass was enough. Watercolor, okay, that's what we're doing. So yeah, this is a really lovely, and you don't, if you're not watercoloring, you don't have to use StazOn. So you could use, you know, it looks really nice in Misty Moonlight. I've done a few Misty Moonlights, and we want a really soft effect. So let's have a little look here. I'm deciding how I want this to go. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go portrait, not landscape. And I'm going to go over the edge just a little bit. I want to make sure I've got plenty of room in here for my sentiment. Just like that. I could have moved it down a little bit, but oh well, that's fine. And it's not too inky, so it's not very black. It's more looks like, it looks grey, even though I've used black ink. Isn't that a beautiful stamp? It's really, really lovely. Okay, so now's when we get to decide what colours we want to use. And I'm deciding, do I want the big, I'll start with the big flower. And do we want pink or do we want mauve? What colours do you think we should go? Maybe if I start with a mauve one, maybe? No one's answered me yet. I know there's a bit of a delay between me asking questions and you guys being able to reply. So sometimes it feels like, oh, no one's listening, no one's answering, but I know I have to account for that delay. It's about 10 seconds, I think. So purple, says Jody. Okay. All right. In that case, I'm going to go Highland Heather. And if I want to add some gorgeous grape to darken up some of the areas, I think I may do that. I'm going to use, I've got a couple of just want to make sure there's water running through, and there's not much water left in some of these. That one's not got much in it, but a little bit. All right, so your options when it comes to getting color onto your brush for watercoloring, you can either squeeze really, really hard your lid, and that puts like a pool of ink here, and then you can pick it up off here like a palette, okay, and color with it. All right, that's one way to do it, and I'll do the other way in a second. Now, the nice thing about watercoloring is that you don't need to be precise. In fact, you're going to get a much better result if you try not to be too precise. So I just kind of add color and then I move on. So I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want the edges to be exactly right. I want there to be a little bit of white space or white light, because when you have a bit more white, it adds life to it, okay? Now that looks so nice, so we probably don't even need to add much in the way of darker color. But let me just show you the other way of getting ink on. So you can see I've used this one as a palette. That's why my ink pads look the way they do. Somebody actually commented on one of my videos last night, said she loved how my ink pads look, you know, look like they've been used, just like hers. And I thought that was pretty funny, because it just means I don't clean them probably as often as I should. But I'm glad it makes somebody happy. So it's an art studio, right? So this is the other way. You dip your block in it and then pick your color up from the block. All right, so I'm not going to add a lot of color to this because I don't want this to be too dark, but I'm just going to add a little bit here in this area that looks like it might have a little bit of shadow. All right, just a little. All right, so there we go. And I'm calling that one done. Now we might have a couple. This one looks like it's the same kind of flowers, so I'm going to add some of the purple to that as well. And once again, going over it really, really quickly, pushing the color where I want it, but not really trying to stay, you know, strictly around the edges or anything like that. And then I'm going to come in with the darker color and add a little bit into those areas that are probably going to give a bit of shadow. When it dries, it will dry slightly lighter than what it looks like now. Okay. Now, I haven't decided whether I'm going to colour the centres. On some of the projects I've done recently, I haven't coloured the centres and they actually look really, really pretty. Now we get to decide what colour next. And I was leaning towards a bit of pale papaya in some of these little flowers down here, or maybe these roses at the top. What do you guys think? Oh, somebody said pink. So Jody was first with the purple and we did that. So Anita said pink. All right, well, let me get... This is polished pink. Is this the right pink? Or do you want a pale pink? It's just such a nice stamp and it's beautiful to colour. So PP, that's the polished pink? Okay, all right. So you can see I've been into this one as well. Now, before I go straight into the pink, what I do is I run a bit more water through and make sure it comes clear before I pick up my ink here, because I don't want it to be, well, it wouldn't really matter because purple mixed in with pink isn't that bad, but some colors really mess, like they get muddy if you try and mix them up. So you're best to try and clean off your brush before you move into the next color. All right, so I'm going. Now you can see some of these petals look lighter and some of them look darker, and that's simply because as you colour, it's darker at the beginning, obviously, because you've got more ink on your brush at the start. And then as you move, it becomes lighter. All right, I'm going to, this one looks like it's the same as these. So I've just got the one pink. I might give these little tiny guys, they may get the pink treatment, but I'm going to move to the fuchsia, and I'm wondering, sorry, fuchsia, papaya, what am I saying? Goodness me. Papaya is this, so far we're using, this is an in color, this is a subtle, and actually where I put the shadows with the gorgeous grape, that's a bright. So we've really kind of mixed up our color families here, but that's okay. Pale pink. Well, I did polish pink, so I hope that's okay. I see some people like the pale pink. Papaya is a beautiful color. It is really, really nice. And when it comes to doing shadows, I haven't decided whether I'm going to move up and maybe do a bit of Calypso Coral in the shadows, because that's like a corally color as well, but darker. So really, when I'm painting with my watercolor pen, or my water painter as we call these, I would suggest that you think about pushing the color where you want it, rather than painting and trying to stay inside the lines. Just push the color up against the different, up against the areas that you want it to go. And don't worry about lots of white space, because that's where your life in your painting is going to come from. So that's really, to me, the secret of watercoloring is knowing not just what to color, but what to leave white. And the more you do it, the more you will get really good at knowing what should be kept light or white. So this one needs a block. Okay, that's better. Oh, I might nearly be out of water in this brush. I might have to change brushes in a second. You know what? That should have been a leaf, not a petal. I'll come back later and see if I need to add some green there and cover it up. Or if it doesn't look particularly bad, because it could be a leaf, or it could be, in fact, it could even be the back of that leaf. It's hard to tell. It's really difficult, actually. I'm just going to color all those ones there. That one at the back is definitely a leaf. Oh. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the papaya around the center to darken it up in those areas that look like they might have a bit of shadow. And I haven't colored the center of those at the moment either. Right, so I am thinking about going into these little tiny weenie flowers here with the pink, because we have only got one pink flower and it seems kind of lonely. So I'm going to just add a little bit of pink up here. Okay. All right. Now the question is, do we add leaves? Like, do we keep the leaves just not colored, or because you don't have to color everything. And I think some people have this idea that you have to color every last bit of your image, but you actually don't. Sometimes it looks better if you just color parts of it. But if I was going to color anything, I would be probably going to go in with the soft succulent, because it's quite a neutral green. It's an autumn leaf. Is that what you think? It could be. All right, let me get rid of all the pink on here. And I'm going to move over. I should have thought to put, because I didn't actually know what I was doing, like usual, I didn't think about topping the water up in these before I started. But if we run out, it won't take me a moment to get them refilled. Okay, so I've got some soft succulent here. So you want to push some water through so you get a lighter tone, and then we can start to paint. Sorry, I'm go quiet when I'm colouring. I can't help it. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's a common theme. Every time I do a class that involves colouring, everyone goes super, super quiet when we're colouring, because everyone's, you know, holding their tongues just right and concentrating. Colour some leaves. I've gone and done it now. I've done pretty much all of them. Couldn't help myself. But sometimes I don't. And I haven't coloured them especially well. I've just added a hint of colour here and there. If I wanted to get darker in some areas, I could, but I'm actually just going to leave them as they are. How nice is this? Isn't this beautiful? Look at that. Looks very clever. Now, question, do I colour the centre? And if I did, I think I would go with a light yellow, like So Saffron. What do you think? Do you think that would work? So this is going to change the tone of this, but I think I'd like to give it a try. All right, so I've got my little pool here. Pick up some colour. And I'm going to leave a little bit white around the edges. And it'll be a little bit lighter when it dries, so maybe I'll put a tiny bit in these guys as well. There we go. That's kind of nice. Just like that. What do you think? Now I've got a little smudge here, and I'm deciding what I'm going to do about that. There's several options. I can put a greeting across the top, although my intention was to put one down here. Let's have a look and see. I've got a stamp in here. I don't even know if it's been used. Oh, it has been used. Have I? No, there's still a couple of stamps in here I haven't put together yet, that I haven't used yet. But this one I have. This one says, "You are a real blessing to everyone around you." And see, I thought that would look really nice in this corner. So let's do that. Oh, sorry, Jody. I'm just going to close my ink pads. Just for you. Actually, not just for you. For me too, so I don't go and do something silly like... I'm gonna stamp this in Gorgeous Grape. And pop this on here. Now, something you can do if you have the time and the inclination is you can always go in with a color such as Pool Party, which is really to me, it's like a light sky blue, and go around the edges with that color. Now, if you do that, what the advantage of doing that is it looks like it's on a background, and you can fade it out as much as you like. I don't know that I'm going to do that today, but I'm just going to test this stamp first to make sure it's straight on the block. Oh, it's pretty good. Making sure it's okay. And then Straighten this up. There we go. All right, that's looking really nice. Pretty simple little card, don't you think? Now, this is going to end up on here. Now, my question is, should we put a layer behind the... Sometimes I like a layer and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like white on white and it just looks really quite classy, popped up, like on a dimensional. So you get a little bit of shadow, but no actual layer between this and the edge. Or I could come in and do a layer of, say, Gorgeous Grape or Highland Heather would look nice as well. Do we want a layer or do we not want a layer? That's my question for you. And then I'm going to use some new, these are the new, I love these. These are called Iridescent Rhinestones and they are absolutely beautiful. Really, really lovely. Yes, we do want a layer. Okay, Jody. And I'm just going to add, oh. I was a bit cheeky tonight. The cats require feeding. And when I say require, as in they like to be fed at 8 o'clock. And it's now after 8 o'clock. So I shut the hallway door so they couldn't come. Because Merla will actually come and bang on the door of this craft room if I don't come and feed him at the set time. So you think it's beautiful on its own? Some people are saying yes layer, some people are saying no layer. Well, let's try it, shall we? So this is what it looks like if there's no layer, and I would pop that up on dimensional so we just get a shadow, and that looks quite nice. Okay, and then also, let me grab the right color. I'm thinking maybe, so let's just try that. So if it's cut to the right size, that's how a Highland Heather layer would look, just like that. All right, so Jody was first with saying yes to a layer. I like both. It's hard to pick, to be honest. Oh well, Jody said yes and she was the first, so we're going to do it because that's the rule, right? And next time I might do it on its own. We'll see. I think both looks really lovely. All right, so this is 9 centimeters across and 13.3. So I want this one to be 9.5 and 13.8. So that's half a centimeter bigger, longer and wider. So then that should be the right size for this to fit on. See, just like that. All right, so I'm going to use some. Now I've just done this on basic white cardstock. It's not the most ideal watercoloring surface, but as you can see, it works fine. But it also gets a little bit warped because of the watercolor, and that's why it's good to stick it on either a layer or it's good to stick it on another thing. You wouldn't just do it on a one layer card made with Whisper White. But if you were using watercolor, or the other option would be shimmery white cardstock. Shimmery white cardstock works really, really well for that kind of thing. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to use dimensionals because, you know, dimensionals are the best. So here's the deal, and some of you may have heard me say this before. If you want to improve your card making, if you want it to be amazing and better and better and better, then the best thing you can do is invest in tools. Not stamps, not paper, not... Oh, did I take on? It helps if you take the backs off the dimensionals, much stickier. Oh dear. I must be tired. I have had a couple of late nights, which is a bit naughty. I just stayed up way past my bedtime. There we go, just like that. Now, my last question is it here on the table? That'll be the interesting thing. I was thinking the other option would be a little bit of white ribbon or I could use any of these colors too. So I could, you know, the open weave ribbon would look nice. I've got some of the, what do you call it? Pale papaya. That would look nice. Or we could just leave it as it is. What do you guys think? You want to leave it as it is? I mean, you can see this is the soft succulent. That would look nice too. What do you think? Either way. White ribbon. I tend to agree, Kay. I'm thinking about, oh, look, this ribbon is retiring. This one's that beautiful copper and gold, cherry cobbler and gold shimmer ribbon that they had for Christmas. And that is on its last day tomorrow. So, just a little reminder. I had the white ribbon out on Friday night because we put it in the middle of our butterfly that we did on Friday night for those that were watching. And I'm thinking that maybe it's still here on my desk somewhere, but who knows where. Goodness me. So messy. So messy. Well, it looks nice, even if I don't put the ribbon on it. But if I find it, I will put it on and I'll post it so you guys can see. Yeah, I think a little bit of just a small bow just down the bottom here I think would look really nice. But it's pretty. Very, very simple. Because you know why? Because this is a beautiful stamp. So the name of the set, it's coming out on Tuesday. And it's called Blessings of Home. Now, I do want to address a elephant in the room, which, well, it is from my point of view. You guys probably don't even know it's there. But you'll know on Tuesday if you go to order and you can't get something, then you're going to know. There's been a lot of items. Not everything. There is a lot of things we have. Don't worry, I've still managed to get my hands on lots of stuff. But there are going to be a number of items that you're going to try and order on Tuesday and they won't be available. And that's because we have a little thing happening at the moment called the global shipping crisis. And if you haven't heard about this, oh my goodness, guys, it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of shipping containers stuck at docks all over the world. And we do have some items we have not been able to get into Australia as yet. Notably, some of those are some of the celebration things. So I can tell you we do have the otters therein. We have the marvelous paper. That's definitely available. And we have the friendly hello set, which is the stamp and matching DSP, which is a higher price point set. Those are definitely available. And I'm not sure. I think almost everything else right now isn't in yet. But I'm hoping that that you guys will still love what we do have. And maybe just that'll help you pace yourselves and spread your spending out over a longer period. But yeah, I did speak to Stampin' Up. I rang them on Friday just to ask if there was any updates on the extra stuff. And they were like, no, not yet. But they're going to be checking as soon as business opens on the 4th to see if anything else has arrived in the docks. Because hopefully with all these holidays, things are still coming in. And after the holidays, that'll be a different story. So it's... yeah, I know a lot of celebration things are not available. So there's those 3 that are definitely happening. It was a bit of a Linda moment, Judy, but unfortunately I don't do prizes for Linda moments on YouTube, but I do them on my Facebook page. So if you're over on my Facebook page, you'd see it. And this actually brings me to another point, guys. This year I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I was supposed tonight to do my first StreamYard session. So that's a software, or basically it's a service that allows me to switch seamlessly between my phone and my face. So I can have the phone down at my desk and you can see what I'm doing, and then I hit a button and it then comes back onto my face and go between the two, rather than me having to fumble with the phone and try and get it into the holder. It's so much more professional. It looks really, really nice. But unfortunately, I've got a little bit of a problem with my YouTube account that won't let me use it with YouTube. So I can use it with Facebook, and I'm going to start using it with Facebook all the time. And it allows me to stream to more than one place at a time. So the idea is I should go live to Facebook and go live to YouTube, but I've got to sort out my YouTube issue before that will happen. So you may see that happening this year, that I'll be going live here on YouTube twice a week and also on Facebook twice a week. And it'll go to both places at once, so I won't have to do separate videos. So there you go. That's the plan for this year. So there we go. All right, so how did we go tonight? We did this one, and we did the Ever Eden one that I've now put out of the way. Oh, here it is, this one. So they're the 2 that we did tonight. So this one is all new stuff. everything on this card, apart from the cardstock, everything else is new. And then this one is old, as in something old, something new. This one is last day to get this paper is tomorrow, and the gems as well. So there you go. All right, so I hope everyone has a great week. First week of the new year. If you're in my team, I'll be live with you guys tomorrow morning. So I will see you there. Some of you see me go live on Monday mornings over there. And I hope, I just hope it's a really fun week this week. And if you're still on holidays, enjoy them, because it's nice to actually rest and recoup and start the new year fresh. So there you go. Okay, guys, have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.